Vadim is a Hasan orbiter, right? Like, this person hates loner box, yeah?
Campaign. I mean, like, it seems like you would agree with like that characterization. You know, I think
hold on. I think it was like a dual-sided harassment campaign. Like I think there's a
How long is
community
this?
harassing him, and he was harassing people back.
Okay.
I think it
Sure.
was both sides.
1 hour.
I don't
Okay.
think like Ethan
All right, this won't
was
be
just
long.
one-sidedly engaging. I just think the lawsuit was crazy. Like I don't
Okay,
know if I call
well,
it harassment campaign. Just kind of implies that it's just one person like constantly going after the other people. I think eventually
Yeah.
it might have
Who
turned
is
into that
good
for like
Vadim?
Casey Tron or something. But with like Denims, I think that was pretty much perfectly reciprocal for quite a while.
Okay, well, we can definitely get into that. I'd like
Anyone
to,
who hates loner
because
box is a red
definitely,
flag?
like,
Oh.
I'm not just calling in
Sure.
about her. I mean, like, basically, like, I get just I'll say this at the outset, and then we can get going. Which is just that, like, the way that I look at it is that, yeah, it is a harassment campaign, and just especially at least. Oh, I'm a dummy. Didn't turn this off. I will just turn this off for now because that person is definitely going to call back.
What?
But,
what
yeah,
does
so
that mean?
what I was saying is that, like, at least with the campaign, and I mean not the campaign.
Wait, hold on. I almost forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. My god. Oh my god. Sorry. A lot of donations came in before the stream even started. 2 Australian from Megu. The dog goes slop slop. It does. Saki with the 5 Australian lemon pepper chicken. True. I'm eating the ass. Not like that. Okay. Wee with the $10. W, true, W. 10 Australian from Megu again. We're the donor class. True, you guys are the donor class. My Oilers. 10 Australian from Misaki, of course. $10 from Bui, W, Megu, true. $5 from Bui. Misaki, W Misaki for being so nice. No, thank you for being so nice as well, okay? Banshee, or Saren, I think, before YouTube made everybody do the... do the YouTube tag name stuff. Sent 10 memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's big. Thank you. Big money. Megu, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. OMG, no. Y'all buddy, thumbs up. True. We then sent another $5 and said W. And Megu sent 5 Australian afterwards and said hamster donation. Okay, alright, cool. Thanks for all the donos. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, court case and a lot of the behavior that it's provoked. It seemed like you would characterize a lot of the reaction that Ethan and us had, like, crazed fans, as like gross and cruel. Am I right about that?
Yeah, guys, sorry.
People who are not these Oilers, you guys should donate, okay? Carry the load. Alright? These people are sacrificing their wallets for you guys to keep my stream up. Alright? Be a working member of the Communist Party of food shops.
To the end of the lawsuit, like the settlement, you mean?
The video, basically. And just like, just kind of like things like cry harder, bitch, like fuck around, find out, while she's like, literally, yeah. Do you want to clarify?
No, well, I think, honestly, I don't think I'd ever go and like correct a lot of people. I think a lot of people who are like trying to intellectualize it, like it's something more than I just hate this ransom cut. Like I think that's what people's thoughts are. And then they're like, well, you see, sometimes when you're like a huge, when you're like really evil on the internet, things like this can happen. It's like, no, you don't believe any of that. You just hate this person. You just fucking hate her.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay. Well, I think okay. Maybe I have been wrong about all of the areas of agreement, but
a martini, shaken not stirred.
I am donor class.
True, you are. Wait, oh my god, my mouse just ran out of battery. Hold on. Where's my thing? It's here somewhere.
Close.
I'm just correcting slightly. You don't sound that far off. Sorry, I'm just correcting slightly.
Oh, please do. That's totally cool. But forgive me if I'm wrong. We do agree that any pretenses of this all being like some noble thing he's doing for the integrity of copyright, like that's all fucking right.
Yeah,
right, exactly. So yeah, and so tell me if you'd agree with me to at least to an extent here, that a big part of why a lot of people, like the communities that follow Ethan and people who are like kind of his like bros, his like, I don't know, just right hand people with all of this,
Right-hand people.
Golds and others, like a big part of the reason why people don't question it and don't see like, just
they don't question it because
it seems like pretty transparent that like
because they hate
like
Hasan.
hostage video
That's
and shit
why.
like that. And so to an extent, would you agree that one of the reasons why people look at it that way is because they are just sort of flooding the zone with all sorts of bullshit that these people just believe, and kind of like people don't question for that reason? Is there any like like
I do think
agreement with that?
I do think that's broadly the way these things are going now. Is maybe it's always been, and I just was on like a side, and I kind of thought like I was accurate, but it's just everybody is just doing narratives, and there's no actual critical engagement from anyone else.
What the? No self-awareness, like literally no self-awareness.
Right. So I'm always fine to talk to somebody who I like disagree with, because for a long time, like I was pretty unequivocally on the H3 is like kind of getting bullied for no reason side. And I feel like he was in the wrong a lot of the time. Or sorry, he was in the right, at least at the beginning. Like he didn't seem like a super evil Zionist type of guy. And he was kind of getting bullied like that. But sometimes you just have to understand that if you're in like pretty partisan spaces or even more extreme, like not extremist politics, but if you're in like, politically active communities, there'll always be people who are like, oh, you're not good enough, you're not pure enough. And he just seemed to have a real weird overreaction to that.
Okay, well, let me just give you a little bit of information about like my quasi connection to Ethan, because I think it's a little relevant. I'm someone who definitely was a fan or just like an appreciator of his work. We're actually, or no, I was about to say we're friends, but no, we're no longer friends or friendly. I don't kind of like want to make it sound like, kind of way more like we were not like super like best buddies IRL or anything like that. But basically back in the day, I did like a video on him that I thought, I still enjoy that video, even though that I kind of, I don't know, have mixed feelings about it in some ways because, my attitude on him has changed. But basically, we did a lot of like DMing. He was back then like super nice to me and whatnot, and like it's not that big a deal, but at the same time, like I don't know, someone as successful as he is, like having the like back and forth with him, like I'm not trying to, I'm really not my what am I trying to say here? My aim here is not to humble brag.
You guys were friendly, and you felt like you had some kind of kinship or closeness because creators, and he was bigger, but like you had a positive relationship, is what you're saying.
Definitely. And then like after October 7th, things at a certain point, really like around the time that everybody started kind of more or less saying that he was crashing out. That was like he had shown some like lame behavior that
does Vadim even parasocial, isn't he? Yeah. Is Vadim even like a believer of like rapes happening on October 7th? I remember him having some disagreement with Loner Blocks, and he got absolutely styled on. He got clowned. And it was over something really silly. I forgot what it was.
A lot of pro-Palestine people, which I definitely consider myself, were speaking up about, but
he was tired.
I had faith that he was going to kind of like, like I didn't think it was completely unforgivable, some of the shit that he was doing, but it was getting worse and worse and worse. And then just at a certain point, it got so insane. And so, but one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that up is to kind of also relate my kind of like history with Hasan, because basically, like even though like I consider myself like a leftist and whatnot, I definitely here and there saw him like pre-leftovers and whatnot. I definitely like saw him like in the space, and when I'd see him, I'd think like, yeah, I agree with most of what he's saying, but like I heard so many things about the like just supposed like stories of.
Are you thinking you want to juxtapose your thoughts on them pre-October 7th, or like what are you going at here?
Well, it's similar to how I feel what what am I trying to say? That's a good point. It's a little similar to kind of what I am like wondering if is going on with your perception of both like Casey Tron.
Do you think I mostly have like a groupthink type of opinion of Casey Tron that's sort of vestigial and maybe not informed?
Well, yeah, to an extent, but I wouldn't necessarily say groupthink, because basically, like, when I started kind of like really like listening to what Hasan had to say, like, I mean, basically, I was very tentative going in because I'd heard so much shit from other people, and the thing is that I already knew a good deal of what people were saying was bullshit, but it was sort of like I was when I really kind of looked under the hood and whatnot, and looked at the things that people were saying versus like what I eventually feel like the truth was, I realized, wow, like I kind of by osmosis, just without realizing it, some things I kind of believed that, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you could attribute it to groupthink or something like that, but I think it's pretty natural. Like, I'm not...
No, bro, dude, Ethan probably didn't accept you into his orbit, but you got accepted into Hasan's orbit. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me, but maybe... From an outsider's perspective?
The reason why I object...
I'm not demoting it. I'm just saying, you think, like, probably you find yourself in a position, you think about somebody, you have an opinion without actually having evaluated anything about them. So you have, like, a pretty strong negative opinion. You haven't looked through, like, a lot of evidence.
Also, like, Jstlk here is, like, pro-Hasan now, out of all things. Even though he was anti-Hasan when he was still in Destiny's orbit. Because he had more to gain from being anti-Hasan at the time. And now he has more to gain from being pro-Hasan. It's not based off of opinions or takes or anything. It's just him calculating what's the best decision. Personally beneficial relationships. Especially for Cherry at the time.
You might think that's similar to what happened to the caller who's on my stream.
And also another thing is that sometimes it's just like we have like such a deluge of fucking like, you know, we're thrown so much shit about these people online constantly.
Yeah, someone's totally flooded with like their negative moments all the time. So
I'm sorry to that. I'm just not unemployed enough. Who even is this guy? He's a Hasan fan who is a YouTuber.
It's hard to actually look through and critically evaluate like how bad they are, because you just constantly see the bad moments.
Yeah, and then also...
I understand that. I have more of like the way I usually look at it is I try to think of how somebody, like the broad... Do I have any idea of what their coverage is like broadly versus when I'm looking at a negative clip of them? If I don't have a negative clip, it's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to... Because my stuff gets misrepresented so badly, right? That I usually am pretty good with just saying like, okay, I don't know what they're
Your stuff gets represented badly. How?
As their content normally is like. So it's hard for me to say this is who they are as a person.
Sure.
Probably pretty unique in that.
Yeah, so before we kind of like maybe get into it a little bit more, you know, one of the reasons why I kind of just decided to hit you up is because, again, there's a lot of agreement that we have. But then when you were kind of characterizing Casey Tron in some of these streams here and there, you'd say like, guys, don't get me wrong. I think she's a loser. She's gross. She sucks, like, etc. And I'm not here. I don't want to give you the impression like I'm here to kind of protect her honor or anything. Like at the end of the day,
I would just say
that's what it seems like here.
And then like, what are your primary contentions with like the way I described her? Because I think usually I described the behavior that I found gross, or I thought I did.
Right, but well, this you probably did, but this is just like the last thing that I'll just say is that similarly to other things that ways that I've characterized things up until this point, I wonder if some of your like belief of her behavior and other people like within that sphere is, without you realizing it, kind of colored by the same sort of shit, just like getting flooded with all this stuff. Sometimes like things are more misleading than you may realize. And
why the fuck is Vadim still online? Was Vadim like more like I don't know, he just fell off the face of the earth, I guess. I don't know. He debated Lonerbox.
And so, and then the last thing that I'll say is, again, like I have no problem if we don't agree on this, but my take on most of these people actually to like varying degrees. I mean, when I say most of these people, Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron, and like like to a large extent, I guess I'll also say Hasan. I think that most of these people are, I mean, I'm not going to stand for every fucking thing they've done, like no doubt.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. I understand we're going like a lot in circles and restating the same information, so I'll just try to like find like core disagreement. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Creationist Cat back in the day? Why does that sound so familiar?
Sure.
So if you have like a thing, just give me like a specific thing you want to critique, and then we could work from there, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't have to worry about my feelings either. Like, just go hard. I understand you don't seem like a guy who's going to be like super vitriolic in his critiques. So just go hard to the critiques as hard as you feel like comfortable, basically, with anybody else. And I'm sure that's going to be not that bad for me. So go ahead.
Cool. When I contacted you, you seemed almost like perplexed that I was not going to fight with you. I mean, debate you about like, you thought that I was going to try and talk you into them being like much more horrible. And I don't know how often you have people come in.
I
these people are actually nice and interesting. But
I knew you were a lefty. I thought you were going to be on their side. I thought you'd be on Casey's side. Cool. I just, like, in my head, I was like, I just try to figure out what the core contention is going to be. Because what I find is, usually when you debate somebody who's like another creator, if they want to have a disagreement.
I think I used to see Creationist Cat in Ico Rules chat or Sundays. Oh, okay.
They'll like lose. I just get really annoyed when somebody comes in and they like get blown out on the actual disagreement, and then they just start pivoting into other things. So I'd like to have conversations be scoped. That's all. So I was just asking you like what you wanted to talk about. Just like knowing the scope of the conversation before I get into it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll launch into that in just 2 seconds. But yeah, I mean, I guess at this point it's pretty clear. But especially with and you can ask me like why I feel this particular way. But especially in Casey's in terms of her, I think that she's someone who deserves a lot of respect, and I think that she is sort of a badass. I mean, for the bullshit that she puts up with, and how she has up until recently like kind of put people in their place with just like mostly her sense of humor, and yeah, so that's my position on her. But yeah, we can get into things.
Wait, you said you weren't going to be here to Vadim said he wasn't going to be on Jstlk stream to defend Caseytron or to white knight for her, but then here he is. He is literally trying to defend her, like defend her honor. I'm so confused. Like, what are you here to do here, bro? Like, this is so cringe. Can't Caseytron defend herself, or?
So I guess basically earlier you said that you thought that the kind of harassment was equal, and definitely.
Well, sorry.
If I
equal, let me be super clear. I think equal is in. I think Ethan gets harassed, and I think he throws the harassment back at the people he sees as the perpetrators. And I do think that Caseytron says stuff sometimes. I don't know how much she's actually like really participated. The difference for me is people say she participated in the most vitriolic of ways, like saying he deserved to have his kids taken away and all of this shit. And I'm like, I actually don't know if she did that. So I would just want to see evidence of that before I assumed that was her. I think what Ethan does is he basically takes the worst people around him, these worst critics, and he says, anybody who's critiquing me is basically that person. He does it quite frequently. So I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to say, well, Casey doesn't do anything. She's not really like going at him. No, she definitely goes at him pretty often. I don't think it's like so vitriolic that he can't respond on the internet.
Sure. I guess one last thing that I should lay out in terms of my thoughts on all of this is that, I've been around like doing YouTube for way too fucking long. Like I was really like kind of around as early as like almost like 2012 or so. I've watched a lot of things come and go, and I don't say this lightly. Definitely when it comes to a left wing, anything close to a left wing space, I have never seen the level of underhanded harassment and just fucked up behavior that he and his community has created. And of course, I should probably say that like in Destiny and Dan Saltman's community, because they are all kind of interlinked,
Sure.
Today I learned Dan Saltman has a separate community.
And so
I would say that's more of like an explicit, like, Ethan is like the totally mind raped person in the back. Like basically there's like a, what would you call it? It's not fuck. There's like an illithid like attached to his head. Okay.
There's a what attached to his head?
There's like an illithid. Oh, have you played?
Oh, this is cute. So this is like the Snarker. This is the Snarker therapy group. They're like therapy partners. They probably give you somebody at the clinic to make sure you don't feel alone. Except this is like the schizo. This is the schizo version of that. They're probably like they're probably sad from all the fucking L's that they have been dealt. So now they're trying to cope with one another. One is coping over Destiny, and the other is coping over Ethan Klein. Okay, I see what's going on here now. All right.
D&D before.
So
I
stupid.
have, but
Listen, they're just here to circle jerk. Okay, I get what's happening. I understand.
like
Okay.
when
It's
I
like
was
a mind flayer like parasite thing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's like a mind flayer. It's like just basically like I wouldn't say he's like totally mind control, but like I'm pretty sure at least from what people have told me, it had a whole lot to do with like Dan, the anti-Semitism campaign, and then people infiltrating his community, right? Like just a lot of a lot of infiltration into his community.
It's that, I mean, it's a whole like mess of things. We, probably too much of a can of worms to kind of dissect that in particular. But yeah, I am of the opinion that the overwhelming majority of things that people cite as being really
Underneath that they're mind raped. Yeah, they're accusing other people of being. Yeah, I mean, hey, there's always going to be a lot of projection.
bad harassment.
What can you do?
I think nearly all of them are overstated. And then, I mean, although if I will say that if they did play out the way that they were presented by some, it would surely be like I would not say that.
Isn't this a dude cried on Heavy Date?
I
Did he
definitely
cry?
think that yeah, what I just said, and then on top of that, like I have not.
I don't know the
any
Vadim lore.
genuine. I know this is the next thing. I have not seen any like genuine evidence that like they contributed to the CPS call, that they genuinely contributed to like
any of the big things that happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I would like to see anybody even say, like, did she even say anything besides maybe something about Giardia? I could see the Giardia thing. Do you know what she said? Like, what has she said that could even vaguely be associated?
Well, I mean, in order for the lawsuit to make sense, I mean, she would have said that she wanted to take views away from Ethan Klein. And if there was anybody, I assume that Ethan Klein must be going at anybody who is willing to say, well, I'm here to be actively malicious to Ethan Klein's views, right? I want to actually go through with trying to harm his bottom line, right? My motivation is trying to harm his bottom line. Right, that's their reasoning, or why Ethan Klein. Otherwise, Ethan Klein would have went after Hasan, right? If Hasan have said something like that, then I think that Ethan Klein would have definitely sued Hasan. But he specifically sued the people whom he thought that he had the best case against, right?
We're talking about Casey
Tron. No, I know about Denims. Casey Tron.
I actually do not know what she said in regards to that, but I just don't have. I have to say that to a certain extent, like. I have it's just I feel like Ethan sorry if I'm like just trying to struggle with my words here, but I feel like he clutches his pearls all the time and not catastrophizes, that's the wrong way of putting it. He just bullshits about how much of a victim he is inside these situations, and like here and there, if somebody makes a joke, like I don't think it's always like off limits. Like I've made some pretty like on Twitter.
This doesn't apply to Ethan. I don't think this applies to Ethan necessarily. I don't think this applies to Ethan, but some people only live by their identity in order to feel like a victim. But they never practice anything that the ethnicity actually preaches. Which is like really annoying, because it's like I know that you don't actually feel this personally about your identity. I know you don't actually like I know you don't take it seriously, but then why are you feeling offended on behalf of it, right? If you don't even practice these values, you don't even like live by them. You do everything in your power to avoid like practicing, or like you try to pass as a normal person too. It's so, yeah, I don't know, it's silly.
And whatnot, I've made some pretty tasteless.
Sure, you think some of the things are just jokes that are taken out of context. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like in my particular case, I made a really like I'm not necessarily like defending this hardcore. It is like pretty like tasteless, but like somebody, I did say something to the effect that at a certain point when somebody was being a dick to me, I like made some sort of comment about Ethan's kid like eating like dog poop or some shit. But the reason why I was doing it, and actually like there were some streamers who showed that.
And you know what? You ready for my hot take? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Obviously, that is like snarky behavior, okay? But if you really hate somebody enough, like people go after people's kids all the time. I don't know. Like I can like if I no, I have done this. Like I have gone after Dan Saltman's kids. I've gone after Dan Saltman's parenting. I have gone after Andrew Wilson's parenting. I've gone at like the people whom I reserve that for are like the people who I believe to be the most despicable people on the face of the planet. If they feel as though like if they feel as though Ethan Klein truly is one of the most despicable people on the face of the planet, then why shouldn't you make that argument, right? But at the same time, you know, I don't think Ethan Klein is the most despicable person on the planet, and I think that their perception is warped, and that's where I disagree. Not, I don't disagree on the method. I disagree on the initial motivation, right?
The reason why I was doing that is because the person that I was speaking to was just totally going to bat for Ethan, calling Anissa a bitch, which, you know, it wasn't even so much just like that he was going after her as much as just like being like needlessly misogynistic and gross with how he was putting.
Also, again, who doesn't attack Ted Cruz and his treatment of his kids when he's trying to force himself upon them? When he's trying to get like a photo op with them, even though they clearly do not like him, right? Like you can't resist the temptation.
Things. So I was just like, it was just a situation where like,
also
you know, you want to do it.
Being a joke, personally, but I get why some people would be offended by it. So here's like, okay, just pause real quick in this conversation. I'm finding without like a primary contention, without something for us to disagree on. Like you're saying some things that I agree with, but I don't know. I feel like we should have a purpose.
Okay,
we like right now set like a purpose for this conversation. What do we want to do?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: like, what are the things that, like, let's start with Casey Tron. What are specific things that makes you say she's gross, she's a loser, she sucks?
Yeah, she consistently steals copyrighted content, like all the time. It's like one of her most popular forms of content. Is her just like basically being AFK, watching other people's stuff? I find pretty gross.
Really?
Okay.
Wait, actually,
I can't totally vouch for like I can't speak otherwise. I can say in like this actually is a good thing to talk about because okay, when it comes to the copyright thing,
does she
like
very often steal like full TV shows, full movies, and do that for content?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, do you disagree with that? Do you disagree that she does that? I mean, before Ethan Klein, before any of that, she quite often did that, right?
I have not seen her do that. I can't like I can't either confirm
I don't
or
have a link,
or
but
deny.
it's specific behavior that I've seen before, that I've seen examples of before.
Bro, why the fuck? Oh my god, can you imagine trying to defend someone's honor like this? God, this is so cringe, bro. You can do this on your own stream. You don't like. Why the fuck are you hopping on to like vent about and trying to defend her honor, dude, bro? If I want to defend Destiny's honor, I do so on my own stream. Like, if I'm hopping onto someone else's like fucking, oh my god, like you can't catch me doing this, bro. Like you can't catch me like requesting to be on someone else's platform, so then I get to use their megaphone as a way to like liberate Steven from his allegations. What the fuck?
I will like say that I mean this. I'm not going to obviously I'm not going to disagree with something or refuse to believe something that
okay, so we just agree, and then we disagree on what the outcome of that would be. So I think that's pretty gross as a creator. I think it's pretty gross to just take somebody's content. You don't really like transform it in any way. You don't even really make an effort to. You're just like doing a watch party only. I think that's.
This is like a if what Jstlk is saying is true, and honestly I don't believe his word, but you know what, I'll believe it this time, okay? If what Jstlk is saying is true, yeah, like that does sound like a asshole thing to do, and you know the worst person you know is makes a correct point, right? It's kind of like that.
Pretty gross.
I mean, are you basing the copyright stuff? Are you doing this like basing this on more
H3 stuff entirely? I said completely without the H3 stuff at all.
See, this is the thing. I have watched some of her streams where she was just like chilling and not interacting a super great deal. But even in those, like I would argue that she has obviously an extremely funny presence, and when she's like sitting around and smoking weed to a certain degree, she actually is kind of performing. She's being like this like weird, funny girl. And maybe I'm kind of exaggerating here to a certain extent with how little I've seen her
Oh my gosh, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. Dude, just chill the fuck out. God, you sound so cringe. Like, how do you live with yourself, bro?
Interact, because like, I mean, I've always seen her kind of like throw out a joke here and there, and really the like least amount of interaction that I saw her do is just the clips that I've seen for the H3 thing. And like when it comes to the H3 thing, I have no problem with her kind of doing what she did, because well, she was there to support her friends, and those friends knew that they were about to watch this video that had likely a lot of slanderous shit, a lot of lies about them specifically within that video.
Wait, what the fuck? Bro, okay, wait, hold on. So you can do crappy things in the name of friendship? Okay, well, shit. I mean, by that means, I guess we should just pardon all the KKK people for burning down black churches just because, they're willing to be there for their friends. Like, and they believe that black people are detrimental to the white race. What are we talking about here? Hello? How, like, in what world do you believe that this is a good argument for anything? This is obviously a very silly argument, right? But, dude, what is going on here? Yeah, this is obviously very silly.
These were also people who had also like
friendship.
Kind of been
I know.
What you're giving a lot of like really subjective, like non-repeatable reasons that are like totally at the whims of your emotions for why you would think this is good or bad or fine or whatever. And I just don't really. I try not to operate that way, because then it.
Man, my man Jstlk, my favorite motherfucker Jstlk. Okay, he is spitting. Okay, he is spitting on God for real.
Leaves you
Okay,
making a lot of bad decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, but like it. Okay, yeah, I mean, I understand that like in an abstract way, but would you, because I'm not talking in terms of like copyright law here, but would you genuinely, I mean, generally rather, like think, I'm just talking about in terms of like what is morally okay or good. Do you think that like it is
I think it's morally bad to steal somebody's work product with no real plans to transform it at all. I think that's just always bad. I think I pretty much just see that as bad. Even people you really hate or think are total pieces of shit, I still think like even then, I only recently got like bold enough to skip people's ad reads in their content. I feel like if I'm using somebody's content to bolster my own, then that is deserving of respect outside of your personal feelings about the person, essentially always. Unless they are lying about you directly, in which case, I mean, I still feel like you probably want to transform it by actually explaining why they're lying. But like then, man, even then, I still feel like you like transform the content. It's like it's like should be totally disjoint from your personal feelings. It should just be about who you are as a content creator.
Okay, well, in this situation, I basically look at it like, imagine if.
I skip ad reads if I believe that they shouldn't have a career. Yeah, that's my condition for skipping ad reads. Like I wouldn't. Like, typically, I just don't think it's a big deal. I think that if they're creating, like, high-effort content, like, if, like, Legal Eagle supports Ground News or something, like, I'll fucking let it run, right? But, if someone I really don't like is doing an ad read, and I think that they're overall negative to the space, yeah, I don't want to support you like that, okay? I just want to make fun of you.
If Nick Fuentes or someone who you found equally repugnant, if you knew that he was about to release a video that had tons of lies in it about people that were part of your community, people that you maybe even knew personally and cared about, and that more than likely also those same people had already suffered a lot of not just harassment as a result of that person, but it also had like their like monetary, like they were attacked monetarily, which is what happened with both Frogan and Denim, and they were when they were
what is this?
Maybe you disagree that reason. We can talk about that if you do. I think it's a mega bullshit reason.
This is gonna look bad for me. Because at the time I remember being like psyched about it, but I think I argued it was bad, but I also tweeted that it was like I tweeted a tweet about it that was like, oh, all the anti-Semites in Hasan's crew just got taken out. But I think at the time on stream, I'm pretty confident at the time on stream, I was like, oh, actually, like it was kind of bullshit. They got banned for this.
Yeah, it was. We
So I
you know,
understand what
we
you're saying,
could-
attacked monetarily or whatever. I still don't think, I think you can't connect that to content. I think that's like outside. In the same way that I think it's total bullshit that Ethan took like basically disagreements from Twitter or wherever where Casey's talking shit about him and decided to sue her for copyright explicitly to get her to apologize for the mean stuff she said. I think that's total bullshit. I also think it's total bullshit to steal somebody's copyright because you don't like them because of mean things they said. Right?
I mean,
it goes both ways. Like it's equally dumb. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I like saying that she stole the copyright. I mean, again, legally, perhaps that's exactly what happened.
Infringed on the copyright. Sorry, infringed.
Somebody said it's because like leftists don't believe in copyright, and I think you might be correct here. I think the reason why Vadim is probably defending Casey Tron is also because principally, like, they don't actually believe in intellectual property. They think that it's always going to be bad. It's inherently bad because every single supposed IP should be public, right? Available to everybody. That is probably the best faith interpretation of like what their beliefs are, right? But I don't think Jstlk is that way. I think Jstlk is an opportunist, but he's not a lefty, right?
On the copyright.
But a copyright which she didn't even know existed, and you know, and then we could also talk about how
No,
Ethan,
hold on. No. She knows the copyright exists. The copyright exists regardless of whether the the copyright exists regardless of whether or not it's registered. The registration doesn't affect whether or not the copyright is there.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Like I'm again, that's one of the, you know, like I'm not a lawyer, so I defer to you on that one. I like yeah, I guess I'm wrong about that. But my point is that the way that I look at it is she did not kind of set out to like think she none of these people thought to themselves like, oh, I'm going to steal this person's content. I think it's more just like, oh, this motherfucker who has been telling like a shitload of lies about all these people, about me and not in.
You know, it would be great to get some examples here.
It wasn't her at that time, but the other two women, me and people that I care about. And so, yeah, again, I'm going to I'm going to sit down and watch this fucking thing and support my friends who have been just treated like fucking garbage. Yeah, I don't think that the intention was to kind of like, ooh, like I'm going to get one over.
I don't care about her intention. I'm sorry, I super don't care about her intention there. One, it's like it's like a statutory crime anyway, right? Like it's statutory crime, but what am I? It's but we're not talking. There's a word that I always forget here that means like basically the intent doesn't matter. It's not statutory. It's the.
Vadim, you better start talking about Dan Saltman and Destiny. Okay, it's the only way you can worm out of this. It's the only way that you can you know, not look like a retard here. Okay, you got to talk about something that Jstlk like agrees with you on. Okay, Jesus Christ, bro. Imagine like looking bad in a debate with like Jstlk, bro. You are so washed. It is over.
Scrutiny either. Fuck, there's a legal.
It's time to fucking sign off, buddy.
For about like copyright infringement, it is a something strict liability crime, right?
Right.
Yes.
Again,
so basically, her intent doesn't matter.
Right. I agree with you. At the end of the day, from a legal point of view, intent doesn't matter. But I'm really just trying to establish what she did as a.
I mean,
kind of
she's got. Okay,
because legal, have, like, because I mean, you'll agree that like what is correct legally or what is not always what like is.
I thought this was going to be a circle jerk, but I think that Jstlk is doing a pretty good job on pushing back. Right. Let me see.
Necessarily like the moral outcome, right? So I think what she did was quite moral.
Again, you can argue that it was moral, but she literally was just saying, I want to hurt this person, so that's why we're watching it. She like actually said, I do want to like take views away from him. I do want to hurt his content. I want like fuck this guy.
What did she say specifically?
What did she say specifically? Because I'm pretty sure it was like, we're gonna take views away from that. I could go try to find the lawsuit. Hold on.
I mean, good question, I guess.
Lawsuit. Let me go find the lawsuit document because they'll have it.
Sure. Because I'm wondering.
I don't get Vadim's motivations here. It literally just seems as though like he came here just to rant. He does not sound well. Like he does not sound like a person who's well. Did that Lordan Box debate really like fuck him up that hard? I know he's unable to say a sentence without an Yeah, Vadim's basically saying it's okay because everyone just wants to smoke a joint with Casey. Yeah, that's like fucking so. That's such a silly argument. Why the fuck would you ever? Yeah, obviously you're handing Jstlk the win because your argument is just actually the most retarded argument I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, it's okay to steal because friendship. What? Are you out of your fucking mind, mate?
I assume that you read Denham's recent post on Twitter that explained kind of, I'm not saying that it's the same with like Casey Trump, but my point is that her, in terms of like Denham's,
he has been a scatterbrain for years at this point. I don't even get why the fuck, like, did he actually just want a soapbox? But I don't even think he wants, like, an advanced reason to do any of this. I legitimately think that he's just a little brain broken.
There are some statements that she made that, like, have been by Ethan and others portrayed as proof of like trying to like steal the content and create what is that term, a market alternative or whatever the term is. And when you hear her like explanation of things that people are taking out of context, it just like, I don't think it's very plausible that she really had that it's being presented properly by people like Ethan and others. So, I mean, did you read through that? Because you definitely should. In fact, like, we could look at it. I've got it right here if you want me to send it to you.
Sorry, what is that? I'm also looking something up in the background. I just
his friendship is
right
magic.
I was like reading something.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
my bad. What?
Did you read the message that Denham's posted something around the day that Casey Tron's apology was on the internet, and it's a little long, but basically inside of it, she discusses statements that have been taken out of context to make it sound like she was maliciously.
With regards to Denham's? Yeah, sure. But I probably agree with the Denham stuff. I just think Casey Tron's got nowhere near the same leg to stand on as Denham's does. That's the unfortunate thing. We did read the Denham tweet, and I agree with the Denham stuff, but it doesn't apply to Casey Tron.
Well, again, I'm not trying to get her either off in a court of law or convicted. I'm trying to establish like whether or not she was like insanely malicious, and whether like, I mean, yeah. Have you found?
I don't want my criticism of Ethan Klein to get mixed in with the anti-fans or the snarkers. Okay, I think I've made it pretty damn clear that I am anti-snarker and I'm anti-fan when it comes to Ethan Klein, right? Like, who knows how many videos I've made at this point on Hasan and his orbit. Yeah, I've pretty much covered all of them, just like everybody else, right? But yeah, yeah. The reason why I don't like Ethan Klein's motivations is just simply because I just don't think that's honest. That's it. That's literally. Oh no! Oh my god! I didn't mean to leave. Oh my god! I just missed out on all the fucking benefits. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so stupid. Oh my god! I left the fucking rewards room. Okay. Okay. All right.
What she had to say? I'd like to hear it if you've got it. I mean, there is a chance that I've seen this and I'm just forgetting it, but I don't recall seeing something in particular.
I know a lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily. Oh, hold on. Oh no, I have it all in my browser. I've been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein, so we're going to watch it. She literally says, "We're going to watch this, so you don't have to support Ethan Klein." So she explicitly says to not support Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
So if
by the way, this is only a moral argument. It's not the obviously it's a strict liability crime. So
so we go to the moral argument here, and so if and I'm using someone who I think we both agree is worse. Just to I think it's useful to do that. Nick Fuentes has a video. And let's not even say that he's like attacking other people, but just, that there's going to be a lot of not just hatred in it, but just a lot of absolute bullshit. Do you think that it is like morally wrong for people to want people to watch others who are in order to not give him?
It's wrong. I can tell you why it's wrong. It's wrong because it's still a subjective standard, like a totally subjective standard.
Gross?
And so
is it gross? No. Losers for doing that?
Yeah, I think you are a loser for stealing somebody's content in general. In general, I think you're a loser for just taking copyright, and she has a pattern of doing it without any regards to like the morality of the creator themselves. And I think probably what this comes down to on your side is two things. You're arguing that you're allowed to hurt somebody who's hurt you or hurt somebody who's a bad person.
Wait, so Jstlk is defending denims but not Caseytron? This is
In
news
general,
to me.
like just
I don't watch I don't watch Jstlk's coverage of the Hasan shit though. I only watch Jstlk's like Destiny shit because obvious reasons. But yeah, I don't really watch his coverage of this other stupid shit.
abstractly, it's just okay to hurt them, but that is just a subjective standard, and you're just justifying hurting anybody you don't like. Which, if you obviously put that into practice, you can say, "Oh, well, I'm going to use Nick Fuentes or I'm going to use Hitler as the example." And it's like, obviously, be fine then, right? Yeah, okay, but how often are you interacting with Hitler or Nick Fuentes? Not very often. So when you make this argument, you're usually making it to justify going after people who are far less bad and far more.
So it's morally wrong to watch Ethan. Why is it morally wrong
gray,
to
and
watch
it's not
Ethan?
quite as clear. You're just using it to justify being an asshole.
In the case of Ethan Klein, he had again, and there just may be disagreement here because you may not realize the extent to which he is constantly telling these huge whopper fucking lies and misrepresenting these people to just a really underhanded and disgusting degree, in my opinion.
Sure.
But it's
That's
like
what Vadim said.
But the way that I look at it is,
Why?
if someone
missed it.
is kind of like, I mean, I guess maybe this is not like
He equated it to watching Nick Fuentes. Oh yeah, that's fucking
I
silly.
could pursue this. At the end of the day, I don't think that what she
I must have
did
missed it.
was like I'd have to see the actual like footage to agree that she was not that I did not think it was transformative. Like I understood that she talked like I think like 15 minutes worth or like 17 minutes worth, and then there was like a lot of mostly like smoking weed and coughing. A lot of people that I see watch shit for like an hour and a half don't even speak for like 17 minutes. Like I've seen Destiny.
Those people fucking suck. Yeah, those people all fucking suck. That's all bad. Everything you're gonna go there. You can't give me a person who does that and who I'm gonna go, oh, actually they're cool. You can't.
Okay, I guess it just doesn't really. Yeah, I at the end of the day, I don't think that, like, especially like if you are a small creator and you're there to not so much to like get views and like.
I think somebody mentioned. I think it was Stumbling that actually mentioned. Oh, you could argue that it's transformative if you're just sitting there and not providing any commentary, because you are watching along with the viewers and it provides a sense of comfort when you're watching along with them. So then it is transformative in the sense that like you are turning it into a comfort stream, right? Maybe you're turning some content that has commentary in it and you're turning it into something more comfortable because you're the one sitting there watching it with them, right? Even though you can make that argument, we can't really. I feel as though we can't draw the line there. The reason why we can't draw the line there is because there's going to be far more opportunists who are going to be trying to do that in order to steal content, right? Like they're not going to be sitting there because they want to capitalize on like the comfort of the viewers. They want to sit there because they want to actually genuinely steal content, right? So like where we draw the line probably is, okay, we have to like make it transformative via commentary, right? That has to be probably where the line has to be. Yeah.
Her intention like was not to take views from Ethan. Her intention was just to be there to be a supportive friend to the people who had been completely maligned and fucked over by her in like to a disgusting degree before that. So it just like, I don't know. I can't look at that as being all that morally like that wrong at all. Like I would just, that's just being a good friend in my opinion. But what were you going to say? It's you laughed at a certain point.
I'm just saying you're just justifying like an eye for an eye. Like
Yasmin Tessia and all this speculation. No. Sorry, I have to clarify. I'm not basing my opinion on legal stuff. I'm talking about what's socially acceptable.
Like reciprocal. Yeah. Like you're justifying like it's just like
or what should be socially acceptable.
Worst worldview to have.
No. It is not an eye for an eye. If anything, it's like comparing someone who shot like it's like comparing a Charlie horse to someone shooting you in the kneecap. It like one thing is just such like a very, very small transgression that doesn't really have much harm against the other person. And then when you weigh the awful shit that the person, like, the Ethan in this case was doing, it's just like, it's so nominal So it's not eye for an eye. I do agree that like now that you say it, that like maybe I am kind of like hand waving away a very slight amount of harm. But I just can't look at that. Like maybe
so
I can.
I think you're like a lefty.
Maybe I
So
can
you're
agree
like
that it's not like optimal, but to like base like, oh, this person is a loser and they suck on that. Like on that, that's like pretty. Like I don't know. It's not that.
Yeah, I think you're like a lefty, so you're just gonna say like the smaller party gets to do some little harms to the bigger party, and then they don't get to like care about it. I think that's just a silly argument.
So you think that kind of,
which is obviously a silly view, right? Like, to be fair, the reason why it's a silly view from a lefty perspective is because many smaller parties can do a great amount of harm to a larger enterprise or a larger person, right? Not in terms of mass, because we're not talking about Jstlk here. I'm talking about in terms of in terms of like net worth or just raw value or just cost, I guess, or power. Yeah.
just in general, making like content with the intention of like,
I'm a smaller party and
this
Food House
sucks,
abuses us.
so
Get in line.
I'm gonna watch this, so like you don't have to. That you think that that's just like generally like loser
There
stuff?
might be some way to do that.
Well, I mean, that's actually one of the most justified reasons to do reaction content, right? There are some people in my chat who always says like, "Oh, I can't actually watch. I can't watch Jstlk alone. I can't do this. I can't watch this video alone because I hate them," right? And it's much better if you commentate on something because otherwise I would never watch it, right? I think that's one of the reasons reaction content exists in the first place, right? Because you want to be able to provide transformative commentary. So then you are turning it into something that is able to be watched by that person, right? Because otherwise, again, if you didn't exist, that person wouldn't have watched the original content. So the person wouldn't be getting the money or the views or the attention anyway, right? Like the original person wouldn't get anything anyway, right? So yeah, that's actually one of the more justified reasons to do that. But obviously,
But it's not you, dude. Yeah, it's loser shit to say I'm gonna watch this so you don't have to.
there are cases, Sean.
There's something
I don't
to be
smoke
said
weed.
where you're going to critique it. You're going to watch it with a critical eye and say why it's bad and why this person's bad. But that's way different from what Casey Trod did. Is why I support Denims. I have no doubt Denims did it for that exact reason. Well, she doesn't like Ethan Klein. She feels like he's super harmful. She feels like she's going to be lied about. So she watches it and she actually reacts to it and critiques it. And that's why I think I would like stand with her on it. I don't stand with Casey Trod.
And Frogan, the way that I look at Frogan and her watching it, I know that she did speak over the course of it, but truthfully, given that not just was about 10 minutes of the video devoted to things having to do with her, but also there was so many lies and like at a few points, just extreme Islamophobia, like really fucked up shit. The way that I look at it is that she could fucking sit there, not say a goddamn thing. And like when it came like to a moral, aspect of it, she'd be totally in the right as far as I'm concerned too. And it's not even that.
What are you on about? What? I don't even know if... What? I don't even know if he agrees with this for his own content.
I think that she would have the intention of like stealing, but just like, it's like just someone who has been wronged that hard in a situation has a right just to, they should have a right to participate in the to do what they want with viewing something like that. It's like ideally they would be chiming in and defending themselves, but like when they're being
was Casey talked about significantly in the content nuke?
No, I'm not talking about Casey. I was talking about Frogan specifically at that point.
Okay. Sure, Frogan was. I don't know about Frogan. It seems like she was going to settle. I didn't look into Frogan at all, so I really have not. I don't really have an.
I think Frogan is conceding.
Opinion on why Frogan's being sued or anything. I assume if they're like if she was like being sued totally wrongfully, like if she'd done some fair use reaction to it, I kind of assumed that people would be making a big deal out of it, like they are with denims, but I don't think they are. So yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the Frogan stuff. So with Frogan, I just don't know, man. Don't know what to tell you, man.
mean, all three of them, people, the prevailing attitude of people who are not like lefties, or not lefties, but who are not like generally on their side, is that all these women are like horrible copyright infringers and whatnot. But I guess I mean, fair enough. Like I can't, like, at the end of the day, like if you are basing Casey Tron being a loser specifically on that, and like that is enough for you to say something like that. I mean, it feels like the bar is extremely, like, it is super easy.
I actually cannot believe Vadim came in to defend Casey Tron's honor on a kick streamer because the kick streamer called her a loser. You've gotta be fucking... There's no way. Like, this is the space that I occupy, and these are my supposed neighbors, bro. Like, this is crazy.
For you to call someone like a loser and say that
I
they
live
suck,
in an asylum.
That alone is going to just...
No, there's other comments too. I think she used XQC's relationship against him when she felt like he was being an asshole, that she was like talking shit about him and Adept. So I feel like XQC was having like a breakup, and Casey Tron took her like one-sided opinion, was trying to shit on him. Felt like that was kind of unnecessary and shitty. What else was there? There was like, it's just a lot of like loser behavior, what things I would classify as loser behavior that I've seen. But I know that that's probably like a lens, so I can understand that other people find her funny, and I think I unironically think she probably actually is funny. I'm one of those people who believes that if somebody is able to build like a really big platform, and she doesn't really have one anymore, but she did for a very long time, that they're probably actually funny. They're probably intelligent. They probably got good commentary, or they're good at doing a bit. There's something going on there, right? So I do actually think she's capable of being funny. I just don't think she's been putting a lot of effort into her stream. I think it's kind of been like shitty, but I think she could be funny. The Asmongold's mom thing is another one that's just like kind of rough. So
well, the Asmongold's mom thing, like, what do you think she said about her?
I think she implied that, one, that he killed her via neglect, and two,
good.
Ouch.
Okay. No, I say good because most people... Sorry, that's a weird reaction, I know. Most people characterize it as Casey
Bushhouse, guess what Frogan's job is? Hopefully not airport
Tron
security.
said that she, like people usually think that verbatim she said that he killed his mother, and they don't use the like, I said good because you're kind of characterizing it properly.
Here's the problem. I think that's worse because that's a real accusation. She didn't say he like killed his mom and then just leave it like that. She like actually basically said that he's like so uncaring, and clearly the guy cares about his parents, right?
Yeah, it is simultaneously a mean thing to say, and then something.
She's a mental health expert. I mean, she does seem to be good at handling her mental health, I guess. I mean, just look at her. She's she conceded the battle, all right? She no longer wants harm done to her mental health, okay? We stand a focused queen.
Thing that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong.
True strength comes from knowing when to retreat, not from engaging recklessly. Oh.
The only family that I have is my elderly mother. I literally have no one else. I've never known anyone on my dad's side. I have no brothers or sisters. And my mom is also, like a lot of people's moms, just
but at
the same time, it's like, it sounds kind of like I saw the actual tweet that people were talking about, and I was not, because I saw they did not see it in like context of an entire conversation, but in the like context of that, didn't seem all that bad. Especially like you have to put to some degree to keep in mind who he is and like how foul and fucking horrible he is, and that doesn't mean that
you understand. Just I need you to understand that you're doing the exact same thing, but like intentionally. You're describing the thought process by which people say Casey Tron is evil and allow any act against her. I hope you understand.
No, I'm not.
You are.
You're
like, no, I'm not. But I'm not because Casey Tron is cool and Asmongold is literally Hitler. That's what you're like doing the same thing right now.
Well, no, I'm not, because I don't think that saying that somebody, if you genuinely think that there is a decent chance that someone, that they their parent or whatnot, like possibly like died due to neglect. If you're talking about someone, I mean, we're talking about fucking Asmongold here, who like his house was a notorious den of filth. The man is like he has a magical connection to cockroaches, and like
Sure.
they swarm around him. He speaks to them. He's the roach whisperer, and
Sure.
like and she genuinely may have thought like that like not been saying that as something that was meant to be like incredibly like hurtful or anything. She may have like literally
hold on. I hope you understand like the bias you're showing here. You think she didn't mean to be hurtful when she implied he killed his mother?
Neglected, like neglected. That
I can't believe, dude. God, maybe these guys are more brain broken than I thought. Like the one-sided bias is crazy. Like, do they even realize the way that they come off when talking to other people? How is it that you're so delusional? Like, not all snarkers are built the same, I guess. How are you so delusional that you don't realize that you come off as extremely biased when you're talking about when you're talking about Asmongold as versus Ethan Klein or Casey Tron or anybody? Like, the way that he talks about them is in the most like Hasan orbiter mind poison way possible.
Hello fellow Suzu and Sauce watchers.
Yo, Silver King, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate that.
is different.
I'm telling you that's not better to him. It wouldn't be better to me if somebody told me that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, again, I'm not like.
And
I'm
can we also agree? Can we go a little bit further and say that she really did explicitly do it to be hurtful? Like she wasn't just not intending to be hurtful. She was definitely intending to be hurtful. She wanted to hurt this guy. So she said the thing she thought would hurt him.
Okay, possibly.
What? Dude, bro. These people are
my
not
intention
real.
here is not to
did she
defend
actually
anybody.
blow up?
Come
Hold
on.
on. I thought she just died of cigarette of lung cancer. Did she actually blow up? Is that actually real? People always joke about her blowing up, but I thought that was a joke.
I'm
pretty sure that's a joke that she
Wait,
blew up.
actually? What?
Yeah, I think that's a joke.
No, you guys are fucking joking. Oh, she started a fire once. Wait, she started a fire once, but that isn't what killed her?
Oh my god.
So I'm putting all this into
lit a cig
perspective.
while on external oxygen and lit herself on fire. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But that's not how she died, right?
Bro.
Are
sorry.
you speaking to me
Go to
or
the
you're?
hospital. Sorry, I'm talking to the chat. That's I'm talking to the chat.
All right. So what I'm trying to do
Not
here
funny,
is
okay?
not like. I mean, I'm not saying that what she did was fine. That it's like that there was nothing questionable or shitty about it. Yeah, there is an aspect of it that's shitty, but I'm putting it into perspective in terms of the overwhelming majority of the people that you and I probably listen to on Twitter, YouTube, fucking wherever the fuck. Her transgressions are so much so pithy compared to 99% of the people that you and I probably talk about every day. People that you are friends with, people that just.
Jstlk has a soothing voice, so unique, right, Foods? It's very soothing. It's like ASMR for my deathbed. It's great stuff.
If these are the things that kind of you're hanging this incredibly negative view of her, because then there's also a contrast.
The negative view is mostly just the copyright, constant copyright infringement is a method of content creation. I just really have no respect for it.
Okay, all right, and
his voice is shaking
with
this, bro.
It's unfortunate because again, I haven't seen what you've seen, and I'd have to kind of actually see it in order to speak to whether or not I thought that it was egregious.
Yeah, but some people have eyes and they do not see, but some people lack sight and yet they see everything, right?
In terms of just the level of laziness when I have whenever I've seen her stream, okay. She is chiming in to a decent enough degree where I have never thought it wasn't transformative. I guess, would you say that you thought, I mean, I don't know, maybe we can kind of leave it there. We could talk more about your like thoughts of both Denims and just kind of the level of culpability that they have in terms of harassing Ethan Klein. Seemed like you thought that was the case.
I mean, it depends on what you're calling harass. To me, it's like a content cycle. Like you do content on the other person, they do content back on you, and it like circles around, right? I truly don't believe what Denim said was ever like that bad. I don't believe Denims did anything. Basically, the arguments against Denims come down to, her chat was unmoderated, and then it's all based on a heavily edited clip of her chat. And then, I don't know, she said, like, I think the one thing I saw that I really didn't like from her is not even like a hate on Ethan Klein thing. It's like a sweep for herself, where she's like, hey,
just a drink.
Kids don't really form.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Insert witty comment here.
I'll insert it for you. Thank you for the $2. My head was stumbling, okay? Even though she lacks sight in both her eyes, what she has lost in sight, she makes up for in wisdom, okay? And intelligence. All right?
More memories until they're older than that anyway, so CPS call isn't going to matter. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. That's a weird thing. But that was like the dumbest thing I heard her say.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't care. I don't think she's like a good content creator particularly. I also think she steals a lot of content. I think she runs the news on her stream a lot, which I again don't like. But that's
I
don't really have
watched
a huge
her
problem with her in the same way.
Is this the retard that argued with Lonerbox about Israel and Palestine and folded like wet fucking toilet paper? Yeah, I forgot what topic it was specifically on, but I remember that it went very, very bad for Vadim. Like, Vadim was actually getting bullied.
I've watched her a decent amount, and I've never seen her not kind of weigh in substantially on things that she's watching. And I mean, you probably know that when it comes to the watching the content nuke, that she kind of doubled the running time with the amount of commentary that she gave. But I mean, I guess a part of my experience with just going back to Casey Tron real quick is over the course of the last several months, not only had I here and there posted tweets that were supportive of her, and then would see her interacting with people in the replies, but I also saw this on her own Twitter, and I've just seen a million cases where she is talking to person after person who are making all of these claims about things that she said, and just all these supposed controversies that occurred. And she, in all these exchanges, she'd just be like, can you please just show me, like, so many people say this, I get this all the time, but nobody ever shows me any evidence of this one thing. And she is she strikes me as someone who is incredibly honest, never kind of like avoids confrontation.
Why are you trying to appeal to her good character as an argument for her stealing content? Leftists will never make this argument for any CEO, right? Like, they'll always say that CEOs are always going to be nice people at business dealings, but they're always trying to steal money from the proletariat. What are you talking about? Why the fuck are we trying to appeal to her good character here? Like, none of them would ever make this argument for anybody. Is this like what? Bro, who cares? Who cares? Why are you trying to defend her honor anyway in the first place? Like, don't you have your own life? Or do you have a wife?
And just taking accountability if she needs to. And there are so many fucking things that people say about her that just seem to be complete like bullshit, and kind of like at best like a huge exaggeration of what actually happened.
She's just there to be eye candy.
So
sure.
Like,
I mean, I do believe that. Yeah, I believe like people saying. So here's the thing: is I think everybody earned whatever comments they got back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. Ethan earned the comments he got about everything, about his kids eating shit, everything. He earned those, and Casey Tron earned some comments back.
How did he earn these exactly? It's so funny now seeing like the fucking anti-fans like now talk about like being anti-Ethan Klein and shit. Just simply because Ethan Klein is Destiny aligned. Right?
Just a drink.
Roughly.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
148 viewers. Where the days of she fell off chat, like the stream.
Actually, I have around 280 to 290 right now, but thanks for the $5. You're talking about YouTube only. There are a lot of people on Kick. Thank you.
Denims earned some comments back. They got some like Twitter memes going back and forth, people clipping them out of context and shitting on both of them. They earned all of that. What Casey Tron didn't earn was like getting this like fucking ultimatum of, hey, give me your house or admit you were wrong about all the stuff you said that was mean. That's fucking retarded. That's like a totally insane escalation. That's like my opinion here. Is I didn't really have any issue like in terms of it being morally wrong for any of these people to go after each other, like basically at all. No, I don't think so. They're content creators. They do content on each other. They make like shitty comments about each other and then they respond. Right?
Sure.
Thanks for 5, though.
Generally, I would agree with that. But then again, like we get to when it comes to Ethan, just there has been an extreme level of I've never seen anything like it. Like honestly, from a someone who at one time in my mind had a reputation of being like kind of substantially on the left. Just the amount of
No one cares about Kick? I mean, you would think. But apparently Kick has a pretty substantial audience, okay? I have no idea, okay? I think they're all lurkers, okay? But, like, I promise I'm not botting. I actually promise I'm not botting. It's just... I don't know. Somebody can explain for me, okay?
like lies and again, like harassment, in my opinion. But when it comes to denims, okay, so I know that you think that Casey Tron earned all a good deal of the shit that she got because of the copyright stuff. But what about denims? Like what did she do in your mind to deserve any of the kind of the crap that she's been getting from that community?
What did denims do? I mean, I said the thing about just like basically saying the CPS call was probably not that big a deal. I thought that was a little weird.
I mean,
what else did she
is
do?
it like don't get me wrong. I think if
hold on,
if anyone
listen to what I said. Listen to what I said and tell me what you disagree with. I thought that was a little weird. I said I thought that was a little weird. Okay, I said I thought that was a little weird. And you're like, hold on, you're gonna call it, dude? I barely said anything. There's no way you can actually fight against that. Come on.
About what? Saying that it was not a big deal.
You're actually being accused of botting? No, it's just that somehow Kick concurrency has skyrocketed in like the last couple of weeks, and I don't know why. So, like I would wager it looks suspicious to some people, and like the fact that I'm trying to explain it away right now seems even more suspicious. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out too. Okay.
In comparison to what? Like it.
Okay, what did Ethan say about denims in that same time? That was like a big
like
deal. That was big time harassment.
Oh, okay. After YouTube demonetized Tiny?
What?
Oh, maybe.
Well, right off the bat, characterizing the... I mean, there's so many things, but right off the bat, characterizing the panel that she did with the Arabs podcast as this egregiously anti-Semitic thing when it wasn't the least bit anti-Semitic. And in fact, that entire...
That was a little anti-Semitic. A tiny bit anti-Semitic.
That entire witch hunt was insanely Islamophobic. And I'd like to know, like, it was insanely Islamophobic. Like, and also,
What? Wait, so what exactly is the point of pursuing any kind of defending Hasan shit that Jstlk was doing? What was the point of Jstlk doing any of that then? It seems as though like he still retains a lot of the core beliefs and opinions that he has had before the backstabbing of Destiny. But it feels now that he is going after Destiny anyway and Ethan Klein anyway and still doing all the defending Hasan shit. Is he... I'm just so... It's so stupid. What? Okay. All right. I think he actively downplays Hasan's crew though. Like he downplays the CPS call shit, which is probably not.
It was anti-Semitic, but only anti-Semitic because one of the members of the basically the Jewish member of the Arabs podcast, his Jewishness was completely erased. People just acted like he must have been some sort of
hypersweeping.
What do you mean? It's hypersweeping? No, it's not.
Okay, what do you think was being implied when they said, what is it, Sabra? When they did the Sabra tier. What do you think is implied by that?
It was...
like Sabra. Why would somebody like Sabra? What's bad about Sabra?
Because it's not authentically Arab. Like everybody...
It's not authentically like from the region, right? So you're basically saying that the Jewish hummus is not authentically from the region. It doesn't belong there.
It's not, but why does it matter? It's not that it's Jewish hummus. It's that it's shitty hummus.
It is though. Okay.
Oh, blood. Oh my god. Why are you throwing? Why are you throwing? Bro cannot make an argument to save his life. Oh my god. This is so stupid. Oh my god, bro. I can't.
It is though. It's also the most popular brand of hummus, is it not?
Yeah, but you are projecting onto it. That's just like if anyone, especially anyone who is kind of someone who either is Arab or I don't know anyone who has had good hummus who thinks of that garbage as being it's like the brand that if you're like talking about kind of generic crap hummus, even like at a certain point, even H3 admitted that. So it's just
really
like
quickly though. Just really quickly though, it's like at best it was like a microaggression and anti-Semitic, right?
I don't even like at best, but it wasn't even that. Like they. I mean,
you're the lefty guy. You can't be mad about misogyny and then let that one go, can you?
Yes, I can if I don't think that it would in any way was a purposeful it was a purposeful slight at Jews. It's like I just think that is just nonsense. And again, definitely the real anti-Semitism that occurred in all of this is the fact that Raful Ticket, I think his name is,
Rafuli.
Rafuli. Okay,
Rafuli.
Thanks for. Is that how you say his name?
I don't know if that's how you say it. There's an I at the end though.
Okay, yeah, I
Oh no! He's never beating the allegations. Somebody unplug Vadim's internet. Somebody unplug Vadim's internet right now, okay? This was like what, how many hours ago? 2-3 hours ago? Somebody pull his internet right now. He can just pretend there was an outage, okay? Holy shit.
I could be
his name is probably Raful. But like sorry, I think I thought the username had an I, Rafuli or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Ooh, okay,
I was flabbergasted when all that shit
God.
was occurring.
All right.
Just the like insane Islamophobic
By the way,
memes.
I still think it's like totally insane to say it's like a level of anti-Semitism that deserved any admin action.
Good. I'm glad that we can at least agree on that. His, just like so much of his outrage, that entire thing was just.
At least we can agree on that. Yeah, it's like the one point. It's the one point. Yeah, it's the one motherfucker. You can't even concede to the simplest points. Like the fucking lefty view, the lefty view behind anything Ethan Klein related is just like MAGA's views on Trump. You can't criticize Trump in any way, just like how Ethan Klein's delusional in every way. You can't concede on a single point. You have to die on every hill.
He was clutching his fucking pearls. And
Yikes.
Again, all of that was like orchestrated alongside with fucking the Destiny community and Dan Saltman. It was all just like smoke and mirrors. And
yeah, I think a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, okay. Get to a topic that you guys can actually agree on. Whew, okay, you look so bad, okay? Whew. It's okay, you can still close out strong.
Because Ethan is the bigger creator, are really not looking at who orchestrated that and who put that all together, and they're going like, Ethan Klein's the worst, when realistically they took a man who was like, at his lowest, felt like he'd been harassed by the community he built over a long time, and convinced him that everybody was anti-Semitic, actually. I feel like the actual wrongdoer, like the more significantly harmful people here are kind of getting... Because people just want to go after Ethan, which I understand, I guess. Now he's really painted the target on his back because now he's gone independently and gone and done his own thing. So,
first of all,
I guess you understand that Dan did give him that whole method, right? The registering at the Library of Congress thing.
Yeah, I think I knew that. Yes. He's
really?
Kind of been in the driver's seat, in my opinion, with a lot of this stuff. But just so you know, I wouldn't expect you to know this, but Ethan literally, like, he more or less, like, maybe I'm paraphrasing a little poorly, but he basically said like, yeah, I did that. And I'm talking about in terms of getting the, like, he said that he thought he was responsible for getting the those podcasters for getting them their suspension, their month-long suspension. But like, to me, that is just alone was insane and completely just like manufactured. And so right off the bat, there is nothing anywhere close approaching what happened to all those creators versus what has happened to Ethan, like and also happened as a result of those people in particular. So it's just incredibly one-sided with just that one thing alone. There's other things that he's done towards them that I think are really awful. Like I could.
Well, what does any of your awfulness even mean or count for in the first place if you can't even concede on like the smallest points? If it sounds like you have no principles except for who are your friends, right? What does any of your points get you?
Mentioned like in Denham's case, like there's so many things, but he manufactured this like there was this footage where she was watching, not even sure what she was watching, but she mildly smiled while like they were watching that had something. Oh, she was, I guess maybe she was watching Ethan's content nuke, but it was a discussion about like the rapes in or the claims of rape in Israel on October 7th. And this was like basically he went on this like
Bro, just say what he did. Say what he did first, and then explain the context. Okay. Thank you.
I apologize. I'm like kind of stalling because I'm like
Oh,
trying
this
to remember
guy's
it
so
as I'm saying it.
lame.
You can just ask for a minute.
Yeah. Okay. I apologize, man.
Okay.
So like basically what happened is he showed in his content nuke he like showed this one particular person who in the Screams Without Silence, I think that's what it was called, documentary, was they were featured, and so he showed Denham's like not really smiling, just like very like hint of a smile, and he went on this whole fucking thing. He started saying like that like Denham's was evil for that, and also that woman, this is what he did. He said that woman had been raped over and over for like 50 times over the course of several weeks. Like it was something like that extreme. And he basically like completely fucking manufactured this. I think like I don't even know if he watched that documentary, which he talks about like inside his content nuke, but there's nothing in it like that. No one has ever alleged any or made any claim that they were raped 50 fucking times. And he just pulls this out of his ass in order to humiliate her and make her look like this like just disgusting person who is like just taking joy in a woman who had, it was this completely bullshit situation. And so that's the kind of things that he very often just kind of pulls out of his ass. He will just misrepresent things. And like, I mean, it was, as a matter of fact, like I could probably even find the clip if you were curious to watch it. I think I have it here somewhere. But, things like that. There's like just he has so many freakouts and so many moments where he is manufacturing nonsense.
God, Vadim isn't even coherent. Vadim isn't even coherent, and I can already think of a counterpoint. You shouldn't be looking at an isolated incident, right? Ethan Klein isn't just looking at a simple smile. He's looking at the entire context, right? Nobody ever bases any kind of case, any kind of indictment off of just a single context clue, right? It's better to just link all the context together so then you can actually make a case. This is the practice of bad faith actors who want to defend things that they know are indefensible, right? They'll say that they'll say the prosecutor or the accuser is just simply looking at one detail in the case and extrapolating that to the entire thing. Meanwhile, the prosecutor, if you're actually being good faith, what they're actually doing is that they're linking a bunch of contexts together that form a story, right?
Sense about people that is so that people just believe.
Like, it probably isn't just the smile. It is the smile plus the arguments plus his actual belief plus everything that he has done up until that point, right? The smile is just supplemental evidence. It's not meant to be primary evidence like that.
And I think that it's just, to me, it's incredibly one-sided because there's just, I mean, if you know of anything that you think was a lie that has been said by these people about him, I'd like to know. I haven't seen anything substantial, so yeah. But look, it sounds like
it just depends. It feels like it's just vitriolic. It's not like lies necessarily, and it's connecting dots to. No. Hold on. Oh, sorry, what? What's a lie?
the reason why Jstlk should counter this is because um Jstlk and the Snarkers do this all the time. Like they will overanalyze Steven's smiles, they'll overanalyze the way that he breathes, they'll overanalyze the way that he leans back in his chair, right? Yeah, I just think that you know, they should definitely pretend they shouldn't pretend that you know, they don't do this, right? Because yeah, this is something that they should absolutely push back on against Vadim, right? Because yeah, again, they do this, so otherwise they'll be hopefully.
The lie is that this, like, he constructed this false history about this person who, and by the way, the woman who was talking, they weren't even raped. Like they were not saying anything like remotely like that in the film.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
So how's that not a lie? It's also
it's a lie. I'm saying that I don't think other people lie about him. I think they're just like vitriolic. They're just mean, right? Well, although I will say it starts to strain. It would.
Bro, leftist, like the whole leftist club people, like they really are just a bunch of like frat bros who don't give a fuck about women, right? They actually just do not give a single flying fuck about them. So much for leftism, I guess. Jesus.
Straying towards lies, like
and destroying the patriarchy. Yeah.
Would be somebody who like lies. Like you can say, him and Dan Saltman do this the same way. So they'll say something like, okay, here's like a fact that sort of like Ethan's kids did like get sick. They did get giardia, and you get that from like feces. It's like a way you get that. And then it's like they talk about the dog shitting on the floor, and he's like, look. It's like I don't think you technically know. Like, I don't think you technically could possibly really believe Ethan's a danger to his kids. I don't think you could really believe that. I do think you could believe that possibly he wasn't cleaning up effectively, and like the dog shit on the floor and the kid got sick because of it. But like realistically that he's like an actual threat to his kids, probably not to make the CPS call. But you can do things where you leave things out and it does actually look worse. And so I think that's happened to him. But again, I think that's largely, from what I've seen, is yeah, sure. No, it seems like the kid put shit in his mouth, okay, and then got giardia. Although I don't know how close they are together. CPS is reasonable. Is not reasonable at all. It was not.
My second time watching her, did she ever read the comments here?
I think anyone calling CPS for a malicious reason is absolutely horrible. No one should ever do that. And I also want to make it clear that, and I also want to make it clear that I have every reason to believe that Ethan loves his kids and is overall probably a very good father, in spite of a million things that I could say about him that, you know, are unflattering. That said, I will tell you, I have two friends who I talk to about that who are social workers. And I like basically, these are people who don't know fuck all about like the area of YouTube that, like, you know, were on any of the shit. They had no idea who he was really. And I asked them, like, you know, I showed it to them, and both of them said the same thing.
Just so you know, okay? Just so you know that this is the strategy that all snarkers and anti-fans have to take, okay? Anything bad happens to the primary target that they are after, they have to disavow it, number one, and number two, they have to disassociate from it as much as possible. They say, well, I mean, it's bad that it happened and I disavow, but, you know, we haven't done anything like that, right? You'll find the same tactic with people like Jstlk, right? Where when doxing and swatting happens for Destiny's place, right? What happens, right? What happens? Well, Jstlk disavows the swatting, and then he distances himself away from it by saying, no, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. We ban anybody who mentions Kiwi Farms in our server, right? He'll say shit like that. But at the end of the day, right, you can make an argument that stuff like that is only spurred on by the stochastic terrorism that essentially people like Jstlk and Vadim practices, right? They could concern troll about something enough to the point where somebody incredibly mentally ill can go out and become their weapon, right? If you concern troll about somebody enough and one of your audience members is somebody who is like mentally ill, which is like almost certainly like 100% of their audiences are mentally ill, right? Then yeah, they're gonna form some kind of mental weird spiral or obsession with the topics that they're talking about and go out and actually do something crazy, right? And you know, like I feel like this is like literally what happened, okay? And this is how they manage to do the things that they do, right? Yeah. I stopped watching after Kelly left. He's too boring. Oh, give money to me instead.
They said that in the world of social work and people who, are, I forget, there's a term that there are certain people like doctors and other people who basically they have like a duty if they feel like there is a significant reason to.
And like, and by the way, this shouldn't be out of possibility as well, because you'll notice that like these people who are mentally ill as fuck, like they absolutely exist enough to the point where they interfere in the actual drama themselves, right? A really good example is Sabosexual, who is Farha's stalker and went out and emailed Rose's family under like the main account and the alt accounts, right? In order to get them to join the lawsuit against Destiny. If somebody is mentally ill enough to email someone under different alt accounts and to essentially harass the family into joining a lawsuit or something, you can also argue that they are mentally ill enough to swat people, to dox people, to stalk them to their house, and to do like, and even to escalate to violence, right? So yeah, just never assume. Although to be fair, swatting is violence, right? Swatting is like an attempted murder, right? So yeah, like essentially this is yeah, pretty much. I mean, considering how people have actually died from swatting, or neighbors have died from swatting.
To think that there might be a problem, they have a duty to report it, right? And they both looked at it and they both said like, okay, so me looking at this, I don't think that I would have made this call necessarily, but this is really on the line. Like he's saying these like really extreme things. They're also asking him, are you kidding? He has two opportunities to say, yeah, I'm kind of just joking a little bit here, something like that. He didn't do that. And so they both said, if someone called in this circumstance, I wouldn't put it, I would not say that was outrageous. And so, yeah, so all I'm saying, I'm not justifying it. Again, if anybody did it purely out of malice, that is fucking bullshit and it fucking sucks. But yeah, that's what I have heard from my friends. And then the last thing that I'll just say in relation to it, it's no doubt stressful. Like I don't want to say that something like that happening is like just a nothing burger, far from it. But at the same time, I guess I just want to say like so many people characterize it in this way that makes it sound like, that it's fucking as bad as calling ICE on an immigrant or something like that. Most of the time, even though that it can be a stressful situation, those people are there to help. They are there to survey. And this is the last thing that I'll say in regards to this is that just imagine that Ethan was being neglectful in some way. I'm sure he loved his kids no matter what, but there are parents who love their kids and weird shit happens. Like they're negligent in some way. And if something,
this is so stupid. If this was the argument, then literally everybody should get a CPS checkup. Okay, you're basically making the argument that oh yeah, everybody should get one, mandatory. Yeah. I mean, you can make an argument for that, but I really doubt that. Let's just assume that any one of his leftist friends is a parent. Okay, there's absolutely no way in hell that he would ever think that it was okay for let's just say Destiny or Dan or anybody from Ethan Klein's side to be calling to be calling CPS on any of Hasan's friends, right? Yeah, I don't know. This is the double standards at stake. I bet that if Jstlk reversed the scenario onto Vadim, there's absolutely no shot that he would say that, oh yeah, it's not it's not unacceptable, whatever. Yeah, you get what I'm talking about.
So. Did happen, then you'd have a million people online saying oh my god, all this.
Vadim is a communist and Jstlk is a conservative. What the fuck is this nightmare team up? They're coping. They're doing a cope session together over being snarkers and anti-fans.
Signs were there. This could have people could have called in about this and there were all these clips that kind of sort of corroborate this that make it look like maybe something is wrong here. And so that people calling CPS is to avoid the 0.00001% of times in which things like that happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not justifying people calling it outright. I'm just saying that there is you get me.
Well, and here's the problem is somebody did call CPS and I just straight up don't think that means that you can't joke about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Obviously you should say, realistic. If you want to joke about it, maybe you should say something like, realistically, don't call CPS in this guy. That's fucking insane. Like Denims did. But then, I'm sorry, now I'm going to joke about it. Like, now I'm going to joke about it. Fuck it. So, yeah, I think, again, I'm just going to say Ethan takes all of the bad things that happen to him, the worst things that happen.
Well, you can joke about anything, right? Like, that's why people still joke about Charlie Kirk, and it's okay to joke about Charlie Kirk or Corey Comptor, right? But the thing is that just because you joke about it doesn't mean that you don't accept the consequences, right? Like, if you joke about something, you better be ready for backlash. You better be ready for something heading your way, right? Like, you don't just get to joke about anything and then you will have like no fucking backlash or nothing striking back. You should have the right to joke about it. Just like, don't be surprised when like somebody strikes back, right? I don't know. Like, yeah, of course, nobody is disagreeing with the fact that you should be allowed to joke about it. Like, like, do you want accountability or not? Do you want to have your cake and eat it too?
And then he blames anybody who is mean to him or doesn't like him for all of those things, and he does it routinely, repeatedly, over and over and over again. And it's just sad, like crybaby behavior.
Yeah, and he also just will be like meaner and just straight up crueler than anyone ever is to him. I mean, I don't know how often you kind of really scrutinize what he's been saying recently, but there's so many examples of it. Like, I don't know if you saw any of the reactions that he had to Cruel World, Happy Mind, but that was like pretty insane. But yeah, listen, man, I'm sorry. What's that?
No, I don't. Like, I straight up don't care about Ethan most of the time. This lawsuit thing was totally different. I didn't even watch Content Nuke. I didn't give a fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this, that I do not tune in primarily because to all of this because I it's the drama aspect of it. I mean, I won't deny that aspect of it kind of makes it somewhat salacious in some way, or maybe that's not the right word, but it's hard to look away from sometimes for that reason. But I do think that there are a number of ways that the behavior that has been going on, I think it has reverberations in the space that are really like negative and that it's sort of like
that's another huge thing, is that nothing Denims or Casey Tron or any of these people have done is actually having massive would actually have like some mass systemic effect. But Ethan wants to push it to the place where it has a mass systemic effect. He's a fucking loser. Yep.
Okay, cool, man. Well, listen, sorry if you're in there. I did not kind of cut to the point. I sometimes have that issue. I have a lot of brain fog.
I know.
You probably heard this before. But
I watched your whole debate with and I even talked to, I think, Straighter Raid after that a little bit. I'm not like she basically just was like, oh yeah, he has like sleep issues. She just filled me in on some context. I think you know who Straighter Raid is, right?
Oh yeah, we're friends. She's
yeah. So I didn't mean to say she was like shitting on you. She's just filling me in on the issues, the context.
No.
I was aware.
She and I spoke about it like immediately after as well. So I would never think that she was kind of dissing me like that. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I guess I'll just say that in the maybe I said as much, but I think that in comparison to most of the people that we deal with, someone like Casey Tron, I think that she deserves a lot of respect. Maybe like you have a hard time giving it to her for that one reason, but aside from a lot of other things that I could point to, she's someone who just forged a career coming from like poverty and just became like a breadwinner for people who she like really.
She's not gonna fuck you, bro.
People who would be in a really terrible position if she wasn't doing that. And then on top of that, I think that she is someone who, even, when whether or not she says fucked up shit here or there, like, I don't know anyone who has been on the internet for a long time who hasn't done that to a decent degree. I appreciate the fact that she like pisses people off who are fucking like people like Asmongold. Most of the time when she's talking about people like that, I'm not talking about what she had to say about his mother, but she is really getting their number. She is really kind of, with her humor, kind of pointing to like what makes those.
God, this is, oh my god, dude, just end me. Oh my god, dude. This is so cringe.
People really destructive.
This is heinous
and scummy.
Okay, sorry, real quick.
Oh my god.
Can you tell me what part of her humor pointed to how they're destructive?
I mean, I'd have to look through like various tweets that have just really like cracked me up. I mean, like a good comedian who is able to kind of take fucked up behavior and like she just ends up kind of making insightful comments. I apologize. I guess offhand.
Okay. All right. He's trolling. Okay, this is a good troll. Okay, Casey Tron making insightful comments. That should tell you everything you need to know about this orbit.
Can't think of anything, but I do think
That's a
I do think that a big reason why
interesting.
so many people want to see her taken down so many pegs is because she does that. It's the kind of
No, we call that Dunning-Kruger.
very similar to the way that Donald Trump gets just incredibly pissed off by
Yeah, that's not a good thing if you compare her to Donald Trump.
stand-up comedians and Jimmy Kimmel and anyone who makes a
No, she's Donald Trump in this case.
a decent
Oh my
I think you're
God.
totally misunderstanding why
What?
Casey's picked his opponent. What a lot
What
of
the
very like
fuck?
cowardly people do online is they won't talk to or react to or talk like about any of the actual like vocal like capable critics. They'll take their worst critics and they'll only interact with that. And I think that's been Casey's niche for a while now, is people will take her like bad critiques, her bad criticisms, and they will constantly use them to like be a foil for whoever they're trying to be. Like this Asmongold uses her as like a foil, right? Like he basically just goes like, look how stupid this bitch is, and his audience claps and gives a whole bunch of donations. Like that's been her role, at least as far as I can tell, for quite a while. So I wouldn't say she's like
You mean
making like tons of, I wouldn't say she's like doing a great job of pissing these people off, because I don't think she really pisses them off that much. I think they just like
Oh, she's making waves, all right. In the literal sense.
I think they just use her as like a convenient way to whip their audience into a frenzy over some topic.
Yeah, I agree that to a certain extent, you're kind of like saying that she's somewhat of a scapegoat, right? Like she or like I guess maybe not a scapegoat, but she just like ends up
I feel like
being
somebody
a
said
representative.
lolcow, and I don't think that's like horribly off. I don't think she like always is, because the weird thing with her is she was playing that for a long time. I think she basically is just used as like a foil for those other communities a lot of the time, though.
I mean, she never stopped playing that part to an extent. I mean, there is still like an element of trolling and kind of an element of playing a character to her stuff. She's more herself, but it's still embedded in there anyway. That's not like maybe not interesting, in terms of the conversation we're having. But yeah, that's my take on her, and it's ultimately it's fine that you don't agree, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to just hear kind of what you thought, because most people, like, again, I've seen so many comments where people are saying making these absurd proclamations about her behavior and whatnot, and I've seen her try and just make sense of it and get people to explain. But you've actually, even though that I don't think that the stuff that she does with copyright is really substantial enough in my mind to make her to think of her as anywhere close to a loser or whatnot, it's more reason than most people give. So I guess just thanks for having this convo with me. Unless I guess before I get going, by all means, like if you have more like things that you want to ask me, if you want to kind of challenge.
No, I don't want to know anything about Vadim, okay? I'm going to be totally honest, okay? I don't think I want to ever know anything about this guy.
Me on like, what I've said. I get that you think that I am basically writing off
I think I
behavior.
did.
But
It just, yeah,
okay.
Sorry, I think we had a disagreement. I just think we have fundamental, like I explained my critiques. I don't think you really gave me anything substantial in return. And I understand that's probably difficult, right? When I say that you're sort of just saying, okay, well, there's a small person who's like not really doing that much harm, so we should just let it go. Or when it's
Oh no, I've lost.
who's the other one? Oh, when you're using like how bad a person is or how bad you feel they are subjectively to justify like how you can just be harmful to them in return and not really care, and it's just not really that big a deal. I feel like
I know I should have brought a killer. I mean, a healer.
it's
Fuck,
true.
not killer, a healer.
That's the thing is that with that, I don't feel like you are like I'm saying within reason. Yeah, it's understandable for someone to kind of like I guess I think that someone's the shittiness of what they do has to be like substantial in order for me to
You're
care.
just saying, yeah, I know. You're just saying like it over and over again, the same thing. Like small harm.
Yeah, you're probably
equals
right.
Don't get mad. But it's like if somebody were to just like flick my ear every single day, I don't have to accept them flicking my ear because it doesn't really do that much harm to me. I don't have to accept that. It's like fuck off. It's not your butt. Stop, retard, stop. Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't get.
Did you just say the R slur?
For free, 'cause
Did you
it's-
just say the R
Then
slur?
what would be the thing that she is doing all the time that is comparable to
Did you just say the R
flicking
slur?
someone's ear all the time? Like, what is the flicking of the ear in this case?
Yeah, consistently
you
like
just say the
stealing
R slur
content
like
under
that?
the purview of I'm actually going to, like, it's a $1 billion company. It's like there are multiple $1 billion companies that I'm getting the money from. Why do you care about the billionaires? Like shit like that under that exact reasoning. Oh, you shouldn't care about this because it's like a $1 billion company or something. I think that's always being shitty.
How much have you? Because it seems like earlier you were not like you were a little unsure as to kind of aspects of her sense of humor and things. I mean, like it's not like you're. I'm now wondering, like, how much have you watched? Like,
how much? Not a lot. And I told you some of it is informed. So basically, if I can't say about who she is, like as a broad base of content, but I can say that I've seen enough examples of her just watching movies, going to sleep, watching movies, going to sleep. Like I don't sit there and watch it, but I noticed sometimes she's straight up sleeping with movies on her channel, and ads are running. Right? And like that thing where you're just like taking money from Twitch, yeah, that's fucking gay.
Okay, yeah, I cannot speak to sleeping while watching movies, and
yeah, but if she was doing that, if she was basically just like pretending to do a job but not doing the job at all, and probably harming that entire ecosystem, you'd say that's bad, right?
I think that's bad. I do think that is not good. Yeah, sure. I mean, also, are we like when you say that she's watching movies? I assume you mean that the movies are like literally playing normally. Are they like playing on a screen in her room, or like is it just playing normally?
She's just got them in OBS. Yeah, she's got them in OBS with like an overlay there.
I thought shit like that would. Why is that shit doesn't get like content? Like doesn't that get
Twitch has like a really shitty manual DMCA form, as far as I know.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you report it, it will get kicked off eventually, but usually Twitch just waits for like an actual nudity violation or something.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I do more or less object with that. If that is exactly what she's doing, then I'll give that one to you for sure.
Yes, shitty.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right.
Yeah. That's. I guess just I'll get going, and thanks for having the convo with me. All right.
Yeah. No problem. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Later.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you later. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, hold on. Did you go? Wait, do you want to shout out your channel? You want to shout out your channel real quick?
I mean, I am going to be coming back with material, but like I sort of don't feel like doing it because I haven't uploaded anything in like a few years. But yeah, if anybody cares, I'm It's Vadim on Twitter. And
stop! Nobody cares about your shitty channel anymore. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I'm good. Oh fuck. Is this debate any good? It's 2 hours long.
Let's say
I don't even know
I take a
watch
match
this.
and I burn my house down, right? And the reason that I burn my house down is because I know that is the easiest way to catch my neighbor's house on fire and make sure that theirs burns down as well. That's my goal, is to burn down their house, right? I must really fucking hate my neighbor, right? To do that. My neighbor must have done something pretty fucking shitty to me, right? Or at least I think they did.
Yeah.
That's how badly I want to burn their house down, is that I'm willing to sacrifice my own. Right?
Yeah, and I'm guessing if there was anyone out there who was supporting you doing that, you'd probably think that person is a bit weird.
Well, if they support me, then they see things exactly the way I do. If I can see it that way, then so can somebody else. Let's say that my neighbor, like, killed my daughter. You know? Like, this is almost like movie material. Like my neighbor killed my daughter, so I'm going to set my own house on fire so that theirs gets set on fire, because fuck my house. My daughter's dead. Right?
But what if there are 2 million other civilians living in your house that are going to burn down with it?
Well, if I'm in an emotional state, the only thing I'm thinking about is my daughter. Right? Like, I'm not making a rational decision.
Okay, I think in terms of a very, very complex film character, that sounds great. But if we're talking about like a political movement that is supposed to be representing its people, I think that's insane.
Alrighty, so Let's just cut right to brass tacks. We're here.
Okay, I think I'm good. I heard that, like, I heard outside of the intro, it's not really worth watching, so we're probably not gonna watch it. Unless somebody can tell me that it's actually entertaining, because apparently apparently the whole thing is just Lonerbox walking the guy through Israeli history, which is like boring. Apparently it was only that one segment that somebody said was interesting. That was funny. It's okay, that's still time well spent, okay? Interesting.